God doesn't hear, God doesn't listen, but God is caring, God is listening. God has made a way out. He just hasn't shown it to you yet. You just hang in there a little longer. He's still there. He still cares. You're just maybe freaking out a little bit. It's going to be all right. Well, tonight I've actually had this particular message for a little bit. I actually got it not last Sunday, but Sunday before last, sitting in church at night, the PM service. I was sitting in church and it came to me, this particular one. And so it was what was going to be youth night. I was like, well, all right, this is definitely it. Well, youth night didn't come because we had Brother Johnny Lewis up here. I was like, oh well, it'll wait. At that point, sometimes with God's timing, things move around, and I kind of wondered. I was like, well, probably what needs to be said will change, because sometimes it's just perfect timing. And I got it this morning. I was like, well, he'll probably, there's something different. But then I really felt like this is what needed to be said. I really feel it strongly on my heart, and I'm just going to apologize in advance, because I'm probably going to fumble through it, probably going to stumble, fumble, and probably fall smack on my face. But I am going to try. So, if you would you go with me to the book of Hosea? It's a hard book to find, but it's right after Ezekiel. Nope, sorry, Daniel. Wrong one. They're close. They're side by side. I don't know why I always get Ezekiel and Daniel confused. I think it's because they're like same books together.
What?
Just Hosea chapter 3. Now, the book of Hosea is an interesting book. It's very interesting. And you don't hear a lot of people speak from this book, because it's, to me, when I read over it, it's there's a lot of stuff that I don't understand. Hosea, he was obviously he was close to God, but there was a lot that went on that I don't understand. But, so Hosea chapter 3 and verse 2, and it says, "So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a homer of barley, and a half homer of barley." You might be seated. And if anybody's ever read the book of Hosea, we know that at this point, Gomer, which is Hosea's wife, she has run away and she's gotten herself into big trouble, and he has to go buy her back. He has to go pretty much bail her out. And so he goes and he pays for her. And the Bible tells us it was 15 pieces of silver and a homer and a half of barley. So I don't know how much a homer is, but I would imagine that was quite a bit of money. I imagine that was quite a bit of substantial. But needless, he does it. Tonight, if I had a title, it would be, "How much are you willing to pay for Gomer?" And I think it's quite easy to say that all of us, at least most of us, in some form or fashion, have a Gomer in our life. Have a soul that's hurting, have a soul that's bleeding, have a soul that's running, trying to get away from either what's been called to do or just simply religion itself. We all have a Gomer in our life. Whether male or female, we usually all have a Gomer in our life. Tonight, I want to take two outlooks on this. First of all, I want to ask, how much are you willing to pay for Gomer? How much are you willing to put up? This is between the two sides. I want to show you the dark side and the light side of how much are you willing to pay. But right smack in the middle, my question will still remain, how much are you willing to pay? Tonight, I feel like somebody is needing to draw boundaries. Somebody is needing to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm only going this far. Gomer is worth a lot. How much are you willing to spend? Are Are you willing to spend sleepless nights praying for them? Money, time, effort. Are you willing to spend that for Gomer? Are you willing to spend your entire life chasing Gomer, only to have Gomer die in sin in the end? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to chase fruitlessly, knowing that you did your best? Are you willing to do that? There's a lot of people that we chase that will become strong Christians, that will become great Christians, that will become powerful Christians. Are you willing to pay the cost for those powerful Christians? Are you willing to take the toll for those powerful Christians? Are you willing to let that tax and toll be yours? The price tag. Are you willing to take it upon yourself? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to let someone else do it? That's my first side of this. Are you willing to pay? How much are you willing to pay? Are you willing to put the sacrifice in, the time, the effort? Are you truly deep down in your heart willing to do it? Or are you just fooling yourself? Are you willing to pay for Gomer? All of us, I would encourage, yes, Gomer is worth it. Gomer is absolutely worth it. Yes, put the time in, put the money. Yes, because the Bible tells us that there is no price on the soul. There's no price too high. And I absolutely 110% agree with that. Jesus died for us. He paid the ultimate cost. But now I want to look at the other side of Gomer. Are you willing to pay the cost? Are you willing to take the tolls? Do you know when to cut your losses? When it's too late for Gomer. And I don't even know who needs to hear this. But I feel like someone's needing to draw boundaries. To say, I'm only willing to go this far. Yes, I will give Gomer everything. I will give it everything that I've got. But at the end of the day, I've still got to have my soul intact. Watch how closely we follow Gomer. We all want to save Gomer. But watch how closely we follow. We all have someone like that. But just don't get so distracted trying to lead Gomer to the cross that you follow them to the gates of hell. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to lose your soul. What are you willing to pay? As the song goes, take this whole world, but give me Jesus. Yes, take it all. But you've got to be there to receive Jesus still. Watch how closely you follow God. And I don't even know who needs to hear this. I don't know. But I do know, and I do feel in my heart, that someone is following Gomer too close. They're trying too hard. It's a dangerous game. And this is, I'm not condemning anyone. I'm trying to tell you to now, before you get too far gone, to draw the line in the sand. say I'm only going to pay this much. And I'm going to stay on my side of that line. Because if you let Gomer pull you over that line, there's no turning back. There is a too far gone. And there's no turning back. So yes, pay for Gomer. Fight for Gomer. But don't lose yourself in the process. Don't lose yourself over Gomer. Gomer's too far gone. Gomer's too far gone. You can't say Gomer now. You can't say Gomer. And it's a hard thing to hear. It's like a ship sinking. You can do your best to take buckets, pour the water out of the boat, but you can only dip the bucket in the water so fast. But there's a point that the boat reaches that it's beyond return, that it's too far gone, that it's taken in too much water. And no one wants to hear this. No one wants to hear that Gomer is gone. But someone, whether here or out there, needs to hear that Gomer's too far gone. Too far gone. Don't let Gomer take you to hell. Please, don't let Gomer take you to hell. I'm all for a soul. Fasting, praying for a soul, that's good. Going the extra mile, staying up at night, praying for that soul, that's a good thing to do. One time I was struggling. I was struggling with the influence of someone all my life. And the thought came to me, you gotta put more in than they're taking back out. Because if you reach the point where Gomer's pulling too much, too fast, and you can't put back in, you're losing yourself. You're losing yourself and you don't even realize it. It's not worth it. Gomer's gone. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's truly not an easy thing to hear. And it's not an easy thing to say. But someone needs to hear how much are you willing to pay for Gomer? How much? Are you willing to lose your family over Gomer? Are you willing to let those influences overtake you? We, as Christians, and I can honestly say this because I'm a teenager, so we tend to say, I am 10 feet tall and 110% bulletproof. No one can touch me with a 50-foot stick. They just can't. Perfect. Spotless. Have you seen anyone smile like me? No one can touch me. But, as teenagers and as Christians in general, we tend to think, you know what? I've got a great religious walk with Jesus. I think I can just about take down anything. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go after Gomer. Because I know I can take on Gomer. I know it. We love Gomer. Christians, we love Gomer. We want Gomer to be on our side. Because Gomer's a fighter. Gomer will help us. Gomer will put her all into it. And so we go after Gomer. But the farther we get away from the cross, following Gomer, trying to get Gomer to come back, the further away we walk from the cross, and we don't even realize it. And pretty soon we look back and we say, oh wow, I'm in pretty deep, Oops. And we turn back, go back to the cross and find help and strength again. But when we turn around, the cross is gone. Because we walked too far away from it. We we can't see it anymore. And I need to warn someone tonight. Don't get too distracted trying to lead Gomer to the cross, that you follow them to the gates of hell. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. As much as I hate to say this, Gomer's not worth it. Gomer's not worth your soul. Yes, we all want Gomer, but it's not worth your soul. It's not worth it. Don't give up. Don't give up, but don't give out. It's not worth it. Don't give up on Gomer. I'm not saying, if you have somebody in your life that, I heard this message tonight, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop praying for them altogether. Because I'm afraid that if I keep trying this, that I'm going to go to hell. I'm not saying that. I am not saying at all to stop praying for Gomer, but I'm telling you to stop following Gomer. To stop getting closer to Gomer. To stop stepping into Gomer's circle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can pray for them from afar. You can keep praying for them. But don't forget to pray for them. Sometimes we get so invested in it that we go out of our way to make sure that we spend time with Gomer, that we go with Gomer, that we're here with Gomer, that we're there with Gomer, that we're preaching to Gomer, that we have those moments to influence Gomer's choices. But if we're not careful, Gomer will start influencing our choices. And we don't realize it because we're in that moment and we think that it's Gomer that we are influencing when it's us that Gomer's influencing. I came tonight to tell somebody, watch yourself. Because you may not even realize it. You may not even realize how far from the cross you already are. You may not even realize it. That's why tonight I came to ask, how much are you willing to pay? How far are you willing to go? You need to decide that tonight instead of 5 months down the road. You need to decide that tonight instead of 2 years from now when it's too late. The weird thing about when you draw a line in the sand is you can see it a ways off, but you can't see what's behind you. Once you're over that line in the sand, there's nothing to stop you then. And if you do take the time to draw a line in the sand and say, I am only going this far, and that line is between you and the Lord above. Only you and Him can come up with that line. But make sure that once you draw that line, you stay on your side of the line. Because a line is only as good as the person that stays on their side. I heard this saying one time that says, a rule is only as good as those who follow it. And that is so true. And apply this to that. Stay on your side. Stay on God's side. Don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I know someone needs to hear this. Don't know who. But I know someone needs to hear that Gomer's pulling you under. And I'm warning you now, so that in my heart, I'll be able to, when I stand at the pearly gates one day, that I can say, I tried. I did my part. It wasn't my fault. I prayed for Gomer. I prayed for those people. Don't stop praying for Gomer. That is not what I'm saying. Keep praying for Gomer. Keep praying. Keep pleading. Keep fasting for Gomer. Keep going forward for Gomer. Because Gomer is worth it. Gomer is worth the prayer fight. Gomer is worth the fasting. Gomer is worth those long hours into the night. But don't get obsessed with Gomer so much that you forget your prayer life. You talked about how the prayer is so important, and it is so important. And that's why we need to do it. That's why we need to pray. That's why we need to read our Bible. That's why we need to seek the face of the Lord. That's why. Because if we don't keep doing that, the foundation of our religion could crumble out underneath us and we never realize it. Savannah talked about, if anybody compels with him to go with him a mile, go with him double that, go with him 20. Yes, do that, but be careful where you're going 20 with him. It is so dangerous. It is so very dangerous. Keep praying for Gomer. God may not be done with Gomer yet, but he might be. You don't want to be closer to Gomer than you are to the cross. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to be in that situation where you were so focused on Gomer that you forgot what even the cross looked like. That would be a horrible thing to happen. It'd be what I would call a tragedy. And it's happened time after time after time. It's happened so much. In the history of Christians, there have been so many people that went after that Gomer that lost their souls in the process. They said, I will go the extra mile. But they didn't realize they were walking that extra mile right into the pits of hell. They said, I will go that extra length. I will follow Gomer till the end. That is a favorite statement of a lot of people. I will follow you to the end. Well, you better make sure you know where that end is ending. Because that end can be very bad. Very bad. I'm not trying to preach at anyone tonight. Say, listen, I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to warn you. To warn you not in arrogance or hate or just demanding teenager whatever. I'm trying to warn you in love. Because I don't want to see you get lost. I don't want to watch you slip from the gates of glory to hell. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to watch it happen in front of me. I don't want to. I want to see you when I get on the other side of those pearly gates. I want to see you up there. I want to shake your hand and say, man, you made it. I'm glad for you. But I don't want to look around when I get back. Wonder where they are. Wonder what happened to them. I don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to warn you about Gomer. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to suggest to you that you need to draw a line in the sand and ask your own self, how much are you willing to pay? Because you need to figure that out now. You need to figure out that now, while you still can, while you still got a brain on your shoulders. You need to figure out that now before you get so absorbed in the chase of Gomer that you get past the deep end and you can't swim and you end up drowning. Like I said, I'm not trying to preach anymore. Because I know what it's like to chase Gomer myself. Know what it's like to chase that soul. To know that they're hurting. That no one's trying to help them. no one to stand in the gap for Gomer. I know what that's like. Been there, done that. But even Gomer, as much as I may love them, they're not worth my soul. They're not worth your soul. And it's hard to just let go when you know that you're the only one that's standing between them and heaven. But you don't want to fall into hell yourself. I'm trying to tell someone tonight that they need to know when they have to let go. When they have to let go of Gomer. Let Gomer go. There's nothing that can be done for Gomer now. Gomer's too far gone. There is nothing that can be done for Gomer. I do know what it's like to chase Gomer. And you want to help Gomer so bad. You want to help Gomer. You want to show them what Christian love is supposed to look like. What that's supposed to look like. What it's supposed to be. And they may be pushing you away, so you step closer. You say, listen. You step closer to them. They step away from you. And you try to talk to them again. And they step away a little bit further. And you step towards them again because you want to help them. You take another step back. And you step forwards because you want to help Gomer. Because you love Gomer. Because you're willing to do anything for Gomer. Because Gomer's in your blood and you want to help him. You want to help him. You don't want him to die and go to hell. And so you keep stepping forward as they keep stepping backwards. Pretty soon, right as they reach the edge of hell, you take that final step forwards to say, Gomer, try one more time. And you don't make it either. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want that to be you. I don't want to watch you slip into hell because you weren't paying attention where you were walking. I don't want you spending so much time with Gomer that you forget to whom you are talking. I don't want you to forget the cross because you were trying to reach Gomer. You were trying to reach that extra little bit just to reach Gomer. And you had to let go of Jesus' hand to do it. I don't want that. So yes, keep praying for Gomer. But draw that line before it's too late. Before you keep going any further. You need to stop before you go any further. And draw that line and say, hey, this is where we'll not go beyond that line.